Thank you, everybody, for having us here today. I say us because the Field Band Foundation from South Africa has been in partnership with the Norwegian Band Federation for 16 years, supported by FK Norway. For 11 years, our partnership, predictably, was a cultural project and created appropriate curricula, teaching techniques, musical arrangements, and other systems necessary for band management, the likes of which I'm sure most people in the room today couldn't even begin to imagine. In the 12th year, the focus of our institutional partnership shifted from culture to health. How can music be health promoting, and particularly music through the medium of community-based brass bands? And why did this change? It is said that two places where fundamental change takes place are in love and in revolution. I would like to propose that effective institutional partnerships offer opportunities for both. Perhaps there's even a causal relationship between the two if we are alive to this possibility and sufficiently astute to understand that passion must be well buttressed with logic and careful planning. After all, a partnership is predicated on a relationship, which might or might not be love. And we all know that love is not a fixed position, but a set of dynamic processes needing continual attention. This is the perfect crucible for new ideas and radical revisioning. Revolutions are not always easy to achieve alone, and in fact require some kind of relational understanding to be effected. Setting up a counterposition in relation to the status quo and finding the courage to respond differently. So the Norwegian Band Federation and the Field Band Foundation chose together in 2013 to take the position that while there's undoubtedly intrinsic value in music in particular, the potential for the instrumental value of the activity, it's an unavoidable pun, in both societies was becoming too important for us not to pay more attention. Both institutions are deeply aware of the current social context within which they work. The partnership provided opportunities for dialogue, comparison, and the realization that the tempo of our work together could change in exciting, scary, and serious ways. These are migratory, dislocating, and uneasy times. There is an imperative to bolster social cohesion and develop new approaches to community development as an antidote. There is also an urgent need to empower individuals to be able and willing to take responsibility for their well-being and to communicate this positive knowledge to others. Behavior change requires an attitude change. How do we help create societies where people can live lives they value, where differences are not only tolerated but better understood, and the social dimensions of health with respect to inclusion are stimulated? We understood that if health is more than the absence of disease, we had a potentially extraordinary health workforce, comprising young band leaders and community facilitators who can be role models and change agents for over 5,500 band members in South Africa and more than 60,000 in Norway. Meet Magugu. This sort of evolutionary, revolutionary thinking was probably only possible because of the lessons we have learned from our partnership. Our model is a people-centered one. It's necessarily about the individual in relationship, and this is echoed by the understandings gained from the institutions in relationship. So we have started a new trajectory of learning with and from each other about how to build the emotional resilience people need to face the various socioeconomic circumstances and take charge of their own well-being. We have called the project Pulse, Stronger Together. The target is the young band members, but also has to be the young trainers and leaders of these bands. They are the health workers, albeit somewhat in disguise and not a white coat to be seen anyway. They themselves need continual support and ongoing training. They need to learn that preventative and holistic health is about making the right decisions about lifestyles and behaviors for themselves, SDG 3, and about modeling those behaviors to the young band members with whom they work. Just two examples of activities. The Norwegian Band Federation has now formally adopted many of the educational modules developed by the Field Band Foundation over the years to train their young facilitators. these practicanta are acquiring skills that use music making as a way to bring linguistic and other minorities together, repeatedly and in a structured manner. Then the interest and commitment to the music-making tasks at hand can start to outweigh the differences of the people undertaking the task, and it brings new energy to the bands. There is increased onus on field band tutors in South Africa, like Magugu and his colleagues, to be responsible for demonstrating that when the band works together to create a community performance, the currency of increased self-esteem and collective pride has as much value, if not more, than the cash performance fees. A unique teaching tool in the form of a giraffe, called Jira, has been developed in South Africa with specific lesson plans and activities that reinforce all these principles. Jira has her own videoed story of overcoming isolation and developing better coping mechanisms, and it's not uncommon to hear field band tutors proudly describing one of their own skill sets as, "I am able to teach Jira," like it's a language. It's starting to become the vernacular of the community music-making activities. A Norwegian Jira is currently in development and may or may not be a moose, but watch this space. There is more, so much more, and little time, but the important final point is that it is the partnership that is making much of this possible, and we have, over these years, learned a great deal about what makes an institutional partnership functional. We learned that while some structural aspects of the partnership might stay the same within a funding cycle, there is no substitute for preparation. Preparation of the people participating in the exchange, and preparation of the organizational systems that must receive and manage the exchange. Being prepared also for the discordant notes of cultural diversity that are always a probability, of being too loud, too subtle, too paranoid, too chaotic, too much and too little, and ultimately never quite like us. And a project log frame is never going to be the algorithm of real life. Partners know this. A brave partner is a reflective device. Clear partnerships shine the light, compassionately but steadily, on our deficiencies as well as embracing our triumphs, and that goes for funding and implementing partners. There are many battles to be won. As civil society music organizations, we know we run the risk always of being dismissed as too much of a soft option in the face of so many hard realities of the health challenges and deficiencies. We accept that we march to the beat of a drum different from that of a biomedical model. We know that to advance the authority of our convictions, we have to strive to find credible means to assess progress. This means better data collection that underpins an always improving understanding of our psychosocial model for development and our theory of change. It means using our collective institutional reputations and networks to seek additional intellectual support and build critical friendships that will challenge and inform us. Field Band Foundation and the Norwegian Band Federation have attracted new funding relationships just recently that we understand to be directly related to our new positioning on social and inclusive health. These would not have been possible 16 years ago. The work has really just begun. It started with a heartbeat, and that is the pulse we are determined to build. Thank you.